Hi YouTube, and this is Everything Silver and Gold. And I wanted to share a story today about during the Great Recession and how I bought a truck with silver. And it's probably not a video for everybody. I mean, if you have plenty of money and resources, this won't mean as much to you. But if you're somebody that is stacking and trying to figure out how to get the next precious metals, or what do you do when a need comes up? How do you handle that with the precious metals? There might be something in the story helpful for you. I'm older than most of you, and I started stacking around 2001. And I had a super healthy six-figure income. Gold was like in the 260s. I know. Silver was around 4 something. You know, and I'd buy and forget. I mean, I'd buy Morgan dollars. I mean, it just makes me sick to think, if you knew then, right? But it was cheap. I was making great money, and I was just stacking, just buy it and forget it, buy it and forget it, And I just felt like it was a little insurance plan, and I just didn't think my world was going to change like it did. And it did. And going into the Great Recession, I was had a household, and actually I was supporting 2 households, and my income stopped. And so my stacking wasn't like, buying the luxury items and, going and buying a ranch or something. It was, keeping the lights on and peanut butter and jelly money, but I was selling it for like 3 times what I paid for it. I mean, gold was, up in the 900s, and silver the same. But what I had to do, I didn't have the income, and I still believed that precious metals was the way to go, but I didn't have the money. If I bought a coin, I didn't have the money to buy the next one, because my income, really, it was a tragic time. And during the Great Recession, without an income, it was, it was a depression. So what I ended up doing, and I just want to share this because somebody out there might hear it and they might think that, I could do that, and you could, is I would buy scrap. I would buy scrap silver, and I would look for things in the group that I could resell retail that would pay for my silver. And so, a lot of times if you're on eBay, places like that, and there's a lot of, a lot meaning a big group of scrap, your precious metal buyers are going to be looking at it as melt. That's sort of their barometer. Retail buyers aren't going to be as interested because if they're not collecting silver and they're looking for nice items to resell, they're not going to want all that stuff. And that was sort of like the sweet spot for me, and how I started picking. And so I would buy boxes, bags, large quantities, how I could. I didn't have much to work with. I was like a squirrel with a little pile of nuts, and I had to keep moving that little pile around so I could keep doing what I was doing. And so I would look for lots that I could buy and sort of harvest out the resellable things, and that would cover the cost, and then I had to put the time and effort in and figure out, was it an Etsy shop? Was it eBay? What was it going to be? Was it going to be resell local? But that's what I did so I could keep buying the scraps silver, because that's really what I started focusing on. So I kept doing that and doing that. I'd harvest a few pieces I could sell and get my money back out on, so I could do it again. And I was accumulating this scrap, junky silver stuff in boxes, And it wasn't pretty, it wasn't attractive, and it was a lot, it took up a lot of space. It was cheaper then too. And so my youngest son had just gotten his license and found a truck around the canyon where we lived. And it was just the cutest little thing. It wasn't new, but it was straight and it was clean, and he wanted it. And so I asked them if they'd give me a week to come up with the money, and they agreed. And I felt like this is meant to be, right? So I ended up boxing, it was boxes to Kitco, sold it, used that money to buy the truck, which was really cool, and as a single mom, to be able to do that for your son, and when you're not having income, was really, really great. In fact, the truck was burgundy and he called it silver. And I'm going to include a picture of what the truck looked like. It's not his, but one I found online. But the thing about that is there is a time, there's an exit strategy, and there's a way to make money with your gold and silver. I do this with gold too. I'll buy scrap lots of gold for a piece that is a retail piece. And it's not the big bucks, but it keeps that little stack of nuts moving. So where there's more. And so if you're looking for like, how do I invest in precious metals? Because once I take this little pile of nuts I have and put it in, I'm out, is to figure out a way to keep it moving, to get a little spin-off income. And then that income you add to your position, And it might be, estate sales, garage sales, people local that, they're just going to get rid of a bunch of dented up silver bowls, but they're silver, or that kind of thing. I mean, in my scrap, there's a lot of dented bowls, a lot of dented candlesticks. I'd have to empty the bottoms out because they had that cement weight stuff in it. But that was great. And, the one thing I learned about going through all that and being a stacker and then hitting a hard time that was extended is, it was great to have the gold and silver, because I was in survival mode, but man, you want something that's producing. You want that income to keep on, whatever that is. If you put your precious metals into something, let it be something that produces for you, because you can spend out, that hard time if you hit that patch, or if our economy does. You want to sustain it, so you want something that's producing through it, your jobs, your land, that kind of thing. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that, and I hope y'all are doing great. Thank you for listening if you got this far, and I'd sure appreciate it if you like and hopefully subscribe, and see you on the next one.